we got maybe 2 years of college, like real college.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. But I mean, we had a lot of fun in those last 2 years. But
we did, yes.
Those
way
first 2
too much
years,
fun, honestly. It was really great.
Perfect.
Super fun. Yeah.
Perfect. Actually, yeah, Katelyn had a lot of fun. Because
so did Eddie.
Katelyn is kind of like a world traveler, actually. So, yeah, Katelyn, so how many countries have you been to? And how many of them have you visited more than once?
Okay, so I've been to America, and I've been
all around.
Yes,
not just one spot.
I think I've been to, the last time I counted, I think it was 24 states in the U.S.
You've been to 24?
I believe so.
Holy cow.
I would have to recount, but
Wow.
somewhere in the early 20s.
Almost half.
I've been to Canada multiple tive I've been to Ireland twice.
Wow.
I've been to India only once, unfortunately.
Oh, only once.
And I've been to New Zealand. And I landed in Singapore, and it was the most beautiful airport ever. I highly recommend. But
I've heard so much about the Singapore airport, actually.
So it was really cool. They have a huge Uniqlo that I took pictures of.
Did you? You
did.
Oh, you shopped around, or didn't know?
I didn't shop, but I went to Uniqlo. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a huge Uniqlo fan. Actually, I'm not wearing anything Uniqlo right now. That's rare.
How could you? Not even the underwear?
No, I know. Not even the underwear.
Oh my god.
Yeah, actually, it's crazy because I've had this conversation on the podcast a lot where I talk about the Uniqlo underwear. Yeah. There's only one right answer, for underwear, and it's Uniqlo. So, specifically the Arizona briefs. If you know, you know.
Sponsor him or whatever.
Yeah, please. Please do. I'll take it. But yeah, so Katelyn's been all over, which is awesome.
I hope my next trip will either be to Thailand or Portugal. Those are like on my bucket list.
Not Egypt?
Yes. Well, I mean, Egypt would also be amazing.
Yes.
My really close friend is Egyptian, and she hasn't invited me back to her home, so we will see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I will definitely be going to Egypt within the next few years for sure.
Oh gosh, so awesome. Yep. So that's pretty lucky.
I'm very blessed. I am so grateful that I get to travel. But
I'm happy for you.
It is one of my favorite things, like going to a different country and like meeting all these people and trying all these new foods. And I really got to experience that in India because I had a great friend, I have a great friend.
Oh, okay.
I have a great friend that lives in India, and I got to meet her whole family and just like really be immersed into that culture.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Versus like just traveling.
Oh yeah.
And like, living out of a hotel in a suitcase.
It's like you got the authentic
cultural
experience.
And I could not recommend it enough to everyone in the world to do that at least once.
Okay.
Or live abroad. But I mean, 3 weeks in India was awesome.
Sounds really nice.
Yeah.
I remember Katelyn telling me, Katelyn got a new roommate, and then Katelyn's new roommate happened to be an international student from India, and I was like,
so are you gonna go to India?
I was like, so you're gonna go to India?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's confirmed.
And I was like, well, I mean, hopefully she's cool. Like, hopefully she doesn't suck. And yeah, I'd love to go to India.
And then she was cool.
And it turns out she was like one of the coolest people I've ever met. Yeah.
She is really cool.
Yeah.
Shout out
Ashna.
Shout out if you're watching. But yeah, so Katelyn went on this India trip, and forever I was telling her, I was like, yeah, we'll talk about it on the podcast. One of these days, I'll have it on the podcast.
Yeah.
And that was a year,
I
2 years
went
ago.
to India in 2023.
Oh!
And now we're in 2025.
Oh, perfect. Well, no better time like the present.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just happy I got on here.
No.
Thank you for having me.
I wanted to ask you, so out of all the countries you've been to, which one do you like the most, and for why, I guess?
great question.
I know. It's kind of like...
They're all so extremely different.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not like, oh, I've been to France, I've been to England, I've been to America. Like,
yeah.
You can compare those, but like, comparing New Zealand to India.
Right? Yeah.
It's pretty extreme.
It's like apples and oranges, but maybe you have like a specific reason you like this one spot, or there's something you did that you know that you won't be able to get anywhere else or something.
I think visiting the tea farms in India
Ooh.
was so cool. And it's not like we went on a tour, it was just like we were driving on like the scariest shit your pants road ever. And
like what does that mean? Like you're gonna fall off? Like kind
of.
Oh,
yeah.
What?
Like you're gonna fall off. It's a 1-lane road. There's these huge like.
Are you on a cliff?
Trucks. Yes.
Oh.
And
whoa. I didn't know that. I didn't know this.
It's a very scary road, and you're just like driving down it, but you're like, oh, it's not scary because it's so gorgeous. Like the tea farms are so pretty. Like it's so green. It was raining and kind of foggy, and it just kind of felt like you were in like this movie scene.
Oh, okay. You felt like a main character at that moment too.
I did, yes.
I
was like,
imagine.
I am so happy and so lucky to be here. Yeah. That was in southern India. In northern India, I think the culture is just so pronounced, like especially in Mumbai, or there's so many people.
Yes.
I've never been around so many people, especially from all walks of life.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
It was...
Or maybe I can't imagine.
Yeah, you've never been around so many people, actually. It's very intense.
Wait, is it really like, you feel like that kind of like claustrophobic, where it's like, so many people you can't really like move like that?
Walking around in the city, like city center. Yes,
really?
Very much. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I've been to Comic-Con, and that's pretty dense, but maybe India's just a little different than Comic-Con.
And I've like been to a concert, but like, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, so that's just like normal, everyday...
Like walking around, I think people would say like, oh, the hustle and bustle of New York. New York City.
But it's like way...
And it's throughout the whole city. Like, I think that would be the best comparison in America.
Yeah.
Is like walking the streets of like in central, what's it called? Times Square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, I haven't been there yet.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know. Very soon.
Yeah.
I was gonna say...
I was gonna say Central Square. I was like, wait, no. Central Park.
I mean...
Times Square.
Yeah. I was gonna say... My, India knowledge, was like... And it's still pretty weak, but it was extremely, like, small. I remember when I first came to Davis, like in my second year, right? I did the orientation, like the in-person orientation that they redid for us. Mm-hmm. And
yeah.
the person who I was like meeting in my orientation group, he was from India. And then so I was like talking with him, and I was like, oh my god, I regret it so much, but I was like, wow, your English is really good. I'm like, what? So how long have you been like speaking English for?
And he was like, my whole life.
And then he was like, and I was like, oh really? And I was like, I didn't know they spoke English over there like that. And they're like, that's like one of our
like what you learned.
Yeah, that's like the language you learned. And I was like, oh, okay, well now I know. And it was just so embarrassing. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Like, how little do I know about the world like that?
I mean, it's okay. Like, that's how you learn, is you talk to people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe don't assume next time.
No, you're right.
I mean, there's plenty of, like, Indian people, everywhere in the world that don't speak English. But I would say that there's more that do.
Yes, yeah.
Than not. Especially if they are in America going to college, they 100% know English.
Oh no, I knew English. I didn't know like what. I was like, "What's your first language or something?" Oh gosh, it's so bad.
I mean, I don't know if it was his native language or not. But
yeah. I think I probably said something even worse. Though I was like, "Oh wow."
But it's like we grew up in Vacaville. Like probably 50% of the population in Vacaville speaks both English and Spanish.
Yeah.
But when you approach like a Hispanic person.
Yeah.
And they're speaking English to you, and it's so good. You're like, oh, wait, why is your English so good?
It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that. I was just like, I'm so...
Like, wait, you speak 2 languages? Holy shit.
Wow.
Oh
you must have, like, been born there, too.
You're Einstein.
Yeah, so where are your parents from? Like, that's crazy. Literally, I'm so grateful for the chance I've gone to university, like Davis, like that.
Me too.
To have met so many different people from different, like, cultures. Because I know if I stayed in Vacaville, or, like, if I never had the chance to go to college or something like that, I would never like known or met people like that. So
exactly, yeah, I appreciated how diverse it was, even if it was not so much.
Yeah.
But I definitely got to experience a lot of Asian culture.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
it was.
Well, I mean, going to India, which is in Asia, a lot of people don't like recognize.
I knew that part.
In Asia.
I knew it was in Asia. I knew that.
A lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, you went to India," and like they're not Asian, and I'm like, "Huh?" That was a big like debate in human development in one of my classes.
Really?
Yeah, because when you think of Asia, people are like, "Oh, Japan."
Sure.
Oh, Korea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did we forget about like the other countries? Like, yeah. So, anyways.
What kind of debate is that?
It's like the bias debate.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure. But I mean, are people arguing that India isn't Asia?
People forget about it.
Oh,
because,
I mean,
like,
yeah.
When you think about Asia, they're like, oh, like you have to have fair, like white skin.
Oh.
And not, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, what is your favorite country then? Out of the countries you've been to.
You still haven't answered that question.
Yeah. I just remembered we forgot to answer that one, and like for what reason?
Okay, I think the last time I went to Ireland, I had the time of my life, and I just think the people there are so wonderful. And I had a guy, like this random guy. I was walking the streets of Galway, and
Galway.
I was like,
sounds like Gotham.
I was trying to find the post office, and I was like walking in circles, and I was like, I don't know where this post office is. And the guy like saw me like pass by twice, and he was like a street vendor.
Oh.
And he was like, man, like, do you need help? And I was like, I can't find the post office. And he's like, oh, no worries, I'll walk you to it. And so I just thought that like random act of kindness was so awesome. Wow. But all the service is so amazing. Like they really want to show off their country, and I thought it was awesome.
Do they accept tip over there, or is it like they don't want tip like that?
Like when you go out to eat?
Yeah.
It's lumped in, like to the bill. Like it's kind of assumed, like so that's why I think the prices are maybe a little higher.
Okay. So it's like you can't not tip. It's like
you just don't tip because it's already assumed that they have been tipped. Like they're taken care of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Same in India. Like you don't tip.
What if you offered them tip? Like what happens? I guess
they would be like, "Oh, these stupid Americans! Oh, they give me more money." Like,
okay. No, never mind. That was a dumb question. Okay.
I don't know if they would like perceive it as rude, but I don't. Yeah, you don't tip.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Our tipping culture has also gotten out of control. But yeah,
I
don't really know what these like 25% and 30%
30%. It's 30% now.
It's insane.
And it's disgusting.
I remember growing up, like my grandma would pull out the tip card of her wallet and it would be like 10, 15, and 20. And 20 was like, it had to be absolutely amazing. And now I go and get a coffee and I'm like...
It's like automatically 20 or 25 or 30.
Wait, the $5 coffee is now like $10. And it's just
Yeah. Well, it's not $5 coffie anymore. Now it's like $7 or $8 coffee.
That is true.
And the tip is $2. So that's why it's $10 coffee.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Just inflation. Oh boy.
I don't know what they're putting in that coffee these days.
No, nothing special.
Nothing special.
If anything, it's even worse than it used to be. So yeah, that's the awesome part.
I've actually started kind of drinking coffee.
What? Wait.